Chapter 30, Air Brake Foundation Systems and Air Brake Circuits, Day 1, Video 9, Air Reservoirs. So the air reservoir or air tank is just the storage component is used to store that compressed air. So we've used the compressor to compress it. We've ran it through our air dryer, removed all the contaminants, and now we need to store it in air tanks located in various locations throughout the truck. So a couple of functions of the air tank, obviously to store the air for use in the system as we need it. Allows the air to cool. So when we compress air, the air gets hot. We talked about the need for annealed copper. Copper is a very good heat conductor, so it allows that air to cool down. Same with the steel braided or the wire braided hose, gives an opportunity for that air to cool. And we'll also use our storage reservoirs to help separate out any water from the air if there is still any water in that air after it goes through the air dryer. So the hot air doesn't want to give up that moisture easily. The cooler the air is, the more readily it will give up that moisture. So if we've still got some hot air as it comes through there, we'd allow that to cool in the reservoir. The water droplets separate out and condense inside of that air tank and then run around to the bottom of the air tank. It's attached to the reservoir. We shape them a round shape so that that water runs to the bottom, and then we can have relief valves and drain valves in that tank to get that water out. We've got several different reservoirs we can have in there. A service reservoir or the supply reservoir, sometimes known as the wet tank, where the air stops first, and then it's distributed out of there to our primary and our secondary reservoirs into the separate as we're separating out our primary and secondary brakes. Two valves, pressure relief valve. Since it is a pressure vessel, we have to have a safety relief on there to bleed off any excess pressure so that we don't burst the tank. A check valve to allow air into but not out of the inlet side of the air tank. And then also we have to have a drain valve located on all the reservoirs so that we can drain the system and then drain out any moisture that has condensated inside that air tank.